please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Suzuki is a master at building hatchbacks. In fact, they are so good at it that they have often created multiple options within the same car category, and quite successfully. Now, a couple of years back, they decided to do something similar in the premium hatchback space. They created the Baleno for the mature audience and then let the Swift take shape as a more fun-loving and youthful car. It's right here, and it's taken a little longer than expected to reach the Indian market. But now that it is here, let's take a look at how it's evolved. We've already seen that face on the Dzire, and there are many of them out on the road already. Does that mean that the Swift won't look fresh anymore? I don't think so. The Swift looks refreshing, and that is not only down to the sporty metallic colors that you see here, but also because its silhouette has become synonymous with the idea of an affordable, fun hatchback. It marries the familiar shape of the Swift with the curvaceous lines of the Baleno, the car that it shares its platform with. If you look at both these cars closely, you will notice a certain degree of resemblance in the headlights, the taillights, even the character lines, especially these haunches right here. And I like the way these curves are highlighted, and that's thanks to the door handle being neatly integrated into the C-pillar. Suzuki has given a black treatment to all the pillars of the car, giving the roof a more pronounced floating effect than before. The Z trim that you see here is expected to be the more popular one and looks quite handsome. Choose the range-topping Z Plus trim and you also get LED projector lamps and daytime running lights and the sleeker, machine-finished alloy wheels. So in terms of design, yes, it still has the familiar shape, but has plenty of new design bits that make it evolutionary in form. Compared to the outgoing Swift, the new one is shorter in length, longer in wheelbase, and a little bit wider too. The engine compartment has shrunk in size as well. So does that mean that it liberates more space on the inside? Yes, it does. There's better knee room, there's better headroom, even the shoulder room sees improvement. I would still call this cabin good enough for a nuclear family, but you can squeeze in 3 adults if you really have to. I even like the area of the glass house. It gives the cabin a nice, roomy and airy feel. Our first impressions about the seat at the back and the front are positive, but we would like to reserve our opinion on the comfort till we drive them on a long distance. The controls fall easily at hand and the center console is tilted by 5 degrees towards the driver to contribute towards better ergonomics. But you will wonder, how different is this cabin compared to the outgoing Swift? I know where you're coming from. The all-black treatment for the cabin, it's very old-school Swift, right? But then, it works in our conditions. Even the switchgear, yep, even that comes from the old Swift, but even that continues to work. I know there could have been a little more novelty to the cabin. The plastics could have had a soft touch finish. There could have been a rear AC vent. But then what you do get is a flat bottom steering wheel, and if you choose the top spec trim, you also get this touchscreen infotainment system. That gets you satellite navigation, a reversing camera, and Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and mirroring compatibility. You also get automatic temperature control, and the noise of the blowers has reduced considerably. However, I do miss the cool cup holder that was present on the outgoing car. You wouldn't be wrong to expect a little more design flair from this cabin, but then the idea or the focus of this car is to be more driver-centric, and there's more to it than just a tilted center console. That brings us to the chassis. The new hardtech platform is lighter, and no matter what variant or trim you choose, the new Swift doesn't tip the scales beyond a ton. Does that mean that it feels floaty at high speeds? Not at least at legal highway speeds. The car does feel light on its feet, but it doesn't feel unnerving. And then again, this Swift could continue the legacy of being a modest toy. There's enough space in those wheel arches to allow larger rims, upsized tires, if you do the right calculations, of course. And then there is also a lot of room in that engine bay, inviting all sorts of engine mods and engine swaps. But what has Maruti Suzuki decided to plonk in there? They continue to trust the services of the 1.2-litre petrol and the 1.3-litre diesel engines that power almost every Maruti Suzuki this side of 6 lakh rupees. And like all their cars based on the lightweight hardtech platform, these engines feel more than adequate to do the job and then some. While the NVH levels have been ironed out pretty well on the petrol, the aging diesel engine still makes itself heard. But I would still choose the oiler over the petrol for the punchy performance that it offers. The weight savings also bring out better fuel economy from these engines, claim Maruti Suzuki. The 5-speed manual gearbox is smooth and still has the likable click between gear selections. For those looking at more convenience, the Swift finally goes automatic too. Like the Dzire, the Swift also now allows you to choose the automated manual transmission with both the petrol and the diesel options. Now, I've tried various combinations during this drive, and I must admit, I've started to like that AMT quite a bit, or AGS in Suzuki speak. The shifts are smooth, the shift pause or the head shake between shifts is quite minimal, and even the gear shifts are quite predictable. Interestingly, I had visited a technical seminar in between with a gearbox manufacturer that allowed me to drive a Swift with an AMT and paddle shifters for its manual operation. Apparently, it's not a very costly technology to integrate. I really wish that Suzuki had done that for the new Swift, considering it's a driver-focused car. They have tweaked the suspension though to make it a fun driver around bends, and it has worked quite well. The ride is supple, the handling is predictable, but the steering feel of the outgoing model is missed. And should you decide to invest in the Swift for spirited driving, you might want to change the Ecopia tires to something grippier. In terms of safety, the brakes are predictive and get ABS as a standard fit. Even the front airbags and the ISOFIX mounts are a standard fit. A common question is, should you upgrade to the new Swift if you already have the older one? Maybe yes, maybe not. If you already own a Swift in the LXI, LDI, VXI or VDI trims, then it could make sense upgrading, because you'll get safety features which are probably non-existent on your car, you get newer technology, better kit, and of course the updated styling. But if you already own the ZXI or the ZDI trim of the Swift, it may not make a lot of sense upgrading, because the amount of money that you will spend doing so may not get you the kind of novelty that you would expect. So I would rather have you stretch and buy the Baleno instead. That brings us to the big question, will the Baleno and the Swift cannibalize each other? I don't think so. Like I mentioned at the start of this review, Suzuki is well known for creating various options within the same car category, and it has worked quite well for them on most occasions. In the case of the Swift and the Baleno, I think it will only make the premium hatchback pie larger. Instead of threatening each other, I think together they'll create a tougher challenge for the competition to tackle.